welcome back. I'm Di, and today I'm sharing with you my diary entry for the week of January 22nd through the 28th. Today is Saturday, January 28th. So, I have gotten through a little bit of reading. I have worked on a couple knitting projects, one of which is new and I haven't talked to you about yet. And then I thought I'd throw in a little bit of a haul. So I did get a book sent to me from a publisher, and I did a little bit of a wax haul, wax melts. And so I thought I'd share those with you in this week's episode. So there's a lot to talk about, so let's get into it. So as far as what I have finished reading this week, I finished Fruits Basket Volume 9. This is by Natsuki Takaya, published by Yen Press, rated teen. I'm sure you all know what this series is about. It's about a girl named Toru Honda. She is an orphan and is living in a tent on what turns out to be the Soma's property. Soma is a family in which some of the members can turn into the animal equivalents of the zodiac, Chinese zodiac. And so a small number of the Somas are living in a separate house from the Soma estate, and they find her living on their property, and they take her in, and she kind of changes their lives, and they enrich hers. It's kind of that. That's kind of the nice synopsis, I would say. I have lots of issues with this series. I don't even know if I could tell you because it's kind of spoilery. But I think as far as triggers goes, if you want trigger warnings, this definitely has trigger warnings for physical abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse. There's a lot of abuse in this series, and that is a big reason why I can't enjoy this series. It's not a series I can say that I'm enjoying. As far as entertainment purposes goes, this isn't a series I can say I enjoy. I did quite appreciate the anime adaptations that I've seen. I've watched both. The second anime adaptation is pretty close to the manga. I do quite enjoy the friendships and the kind of found family aspect that you find in this story, but the amount of abuse that is portrayed in this story just overshadows everything because it is intertwined in everything in this story, and I just have a hard time with that. So yeah, it was an okay read. I think I gave this one 3.5 stars on Goodreads. I gave it a 4 because I always round up on Goodreads since they don't do half stars, but I do want to finish the series by the end of the year, so this volume takes me one step closer to that, which leaves me, I think, 3 volumes left for the series, so I should be able to do that. This was one of the prompts that I needed to fulfill for my TBR game, which was the bought in 2017. So that's great. I did finish all of the prompts, or I consider that I finished all of the prompts for my TBR game. So even though we're not doing punishments, it's still a nice thing to say that I finished all the prompts for my TBR game. So yeah, that's it. My daughter decided to go ahead and pick up Blue Exorcist over the last couple weeks. And so maybe we want to get back to that series as well. So I read volumes 20, 21, and 22 of Blue Exorcist. So this is by Kazue Kato, published by Viz, rated older teen. So this is volume 20, volume 21, and volume 22. So this is a series about a guy named Rin Okamura, and he and his twin brother Yukio at the beginning of this series are being raised by a man named Father Fujimoto. And one day, Father Fujimoto gets killed by Satan, and Rin and Yukio find out that they are both sons of Satan, And with everything that has happened now, Rin decides that he wants to become an exorcist to defeat Satan. And so Rin ends up enrolling in this school for exorcists to start him on this journey. And so that's kind of where this series begins. Now, where I am, things are quite different. Though Rin's main objective, I would say, hasn't changed. A lot of things have happened to Rin and Yukio up to this point. And we do meet several of the other kids that go to this school for exorcists, and follow them and find out about their backstories and their families and things like that. And it's just a really, really interesting series. It's one that I quite enjoy. However, at this point in time, where I am in this series, let's just say Yukio is getting on my last nerve. Like, volume 20 and 21 had a lot of that stuff with Yukio that was getting on my nerves. Thankfully, in volume 22, we get a reprieve from that. We get a little bit of backstory, I guess you would say, without giving it away, in regard to Rin's family. And so I'm finding that quite interesting. I'm curious to see where that goes because of something that was said. But yes, I will definitely be continuing this series, probably for the rest of the month. My daughter has read all of the volumes that we have. So there were 11 volumes that we hadn't read yet in our collection. And she read all 11 and then continued to read whatever else is on the Shonen Jump app. She let me know that I shouldn't read all of the volumes we have because she is feeling very unsatisfied where the volume left off on the Shonen Jump app. And so I am only planning to read, I think, another 3 volumes or so that it prevents me from having that unsatisfied feeling of not being able to continue. And so, yes, you'll probably see the next 3 volumes of this in next week's wrap up. But I am quite enjoying this. I gave volumes 20 and 21, I think, 3.5 stars. And then I gave volume 22 4 stars. I do really enjoy that series. And I'm looking forward to reading a little bit more this week. And then we're just going to briefly mention that I finished my reread of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. I actually listened to it on audiobook because I do own them. And yeah, I enjoyed it. And that's all I'm going to say. So that's everything that I have read this week. As far as what I'm currently reading, after I finished Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, I started The Chamber of Secrets. And I'm listening to that on audiobook as well. And yeah. I haven't picked up another book to read. I've just been enjoying my kind of nightly manga read for the rest of the month since I didn't really have any other like commitments or TBR game prompts to fulfill. I did go ahead and decide to DNF the Night Gardener. I'm just not interested. I never wanted to go back to the story this week, so I did decide to go ahead and officially DNF that one. And because I did try, I got 37% through. I am counting that as passed for this month. So that's where we are with that. I'm kind of feeling up in the air about what I want to read next. Like, I'm in that point where it's at the end of the month. I can't really start on my next month's reads, but I don't know what I want to read to like fill in the rest of the days this month. So I think I'm just gonna stick with my volume of Blue Exorcist tonight, and then when February gets here, I'll start on one of those reads. But I'm quite enjoying Blue Exorcist at the moment, and so I think I'm just gonna stick with that. Now, I did tell you that I received a book from a publisher, and so a couple weeks ago, Precious from Jericho Hill Publishing reached out to me. You might have heard of her if you watch my friend Amy from A Star Reads. she has gotten a couple books from Jericho Hill Publishing as well. And so when Precious reached out to me, I was very happy to hear from her. And she offered to send me a book. And so she gave me a couple options, and I decided on Amy's Eyes. So this is by Richard Kennedy, illustrations by Chihiro Nakagawa. This is a nice paperback copy. It's my favorite type of paperback because the cover is like suede. When I read the summary that was provided in the email for this book, it definitely gave me Pippi Longstocking vibes. And so that is what drew my interest. I was a big fan of the Pippi Longstocking movie from back in like the 80s or something like that. Really enjoyed that. And so I definitely thought this sounded like a little bit Pippi Longstockings. This is a middle grade book, if I am not mistaken. It is quite long for a middle grade book, though. This is 409 pages. So it follows a girl named Amy. She was an orphan, but her beloved sailor doll turned into a real little man and went off to seek his fortune, becoming captain of the frigate? I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce that word. Ariel, so the ship. And so while she was kind of mourning the loss, she turned into a doll herself. And so she ends up going on an adventure with her doll, who has now turned into a human. And yeah, it just sounds real interesting. And I thought I would enjoy this one. And so thanks to Precious, I'm going to try to fit this one in sometime in February. We shall see. If not in February, I definitely want to get it to it sometime soon. This wouldn't fit for March Mystery Madness, though, because it doesn't sound like there's any kind of mystery at all. Definitely sounds like an adventure type story. So I'm looking forward to this one. Thanks again to Precious for sending this to me. And along with that, she also sent me a bar of chocolate. So this is toffee and almonds and milk chocolate. It's a 33% cocoa, gluten-free chocolate bar. So I will definitely be enjoying that as well. So thank you again, Precious. I look forward to reading that one. And then let's get into the knitting. So first off, I've got my Advent sweater. Bag of yarns from Pineapple Yarns. It's the 2018 Advent calendar. And so I didn't do very much on this at all. So I did finish the blue section from the last time, and then this is where I was when I talked to you last. So I guess I did about as much as I had done the last time. I did 10 rows. And so we just did one row of the new color, which is like a yellowy color. Yeah, it's like yellows and creams. There's a little bit of like a golden yellow in there, but it's mostly like a canary yellow and cream. So, yeah. That's all I've done with that. I'm still not like back to knitting daily, but you know, just working at my own pace and putting in stitches when I can and not trying to pressure things. So I'm still enjoying that project and getting a little bit of progress done on it. Feels good. And so, yeah, I did that. And then I started on a new project. So let me put this away and I'll grab that one. Okay, so back in 2020, I think, I had started this blanket. So this is a mitered square blanket that I was doing a square for every book that I read. And so each color square represents a book that I had read. I just pulled a color from the cover of the book and I put in a square. So It is in order of how I read it. So starting here with the yellow and then going this way. I think that's how I did it. But obviously, this is not very big. And it is incomplete. Because I did not keep up with this project in 2020. So I kind of put that one off to the side. Partially because it took a really, really long time for me to knit every square, that I wasn't having time to do other projects. And so that just wasn't calling to me, and I worked on the projects that were instead. And so that went down by the wayside, and I never really looked back. But this year, I've seen a lot of people like starting to do like genre blankets or like temperature blankets, and I'm not really into a temperature blanket. I already know which genres I read from the most. And so, yeah, I don't really want to do projects like that, and I don't want to have a reminder of it, the temperatures, because if you know me, you know I hate it when it's hot. So seeing a visual reminder of how long it is that we've had hot temperatures would not put me in a good mood. And so I decided to go back to my original idea and do a blanket that shows everything that I have read. And so I decided to not do mitered squares again, because like I said, those were taking me quite a long time, each square. And so Kay Jones from the Bakery Bears podcast had recently, over the last year or two, come out with a jelly roll blanket. And so it's reminiscent of a quilted jelly roll blanket, but this one is knit. And I thought this one would work much better. And so I started on that. I'm not quite sure how big this is going to be, because it's going to be highly dependent on what I read and how much I read and my enjoyment of it. So I've just got a small start on this. So this is what I've got so far. You can see that they're not like the same lengths, but I am not only using a color from each book that I read, but I'm also doing a number of rows based on how many stars I gave it on Goodreads, because I want the rows to be even, and to do this stitch pattern, it needs to be multiples of 2. So I've done 2 books so far. So this is Yowamushi Petal, the omnibus I read at the beginning of the year. I gave that one 5 stars, so this has 50 rows in it. And this is the Christmas Murder Game, which I also read earlier this month, and I gave that one 3 stars, so this one has 30 rows in it. And I'm just putting in Dark Fever right now. And so that, I believe I gave 4 stars on Goodreads, and so that's going to have 40 rows in it. And so, yeah, I'm just going to do this project. This is acrylic yarn. I've got lots of different colors of acrylic yarn. And so, yeah, I am going to try not to put the same color in next to each other. So like with series like Blue Exorcist, even though it's the same series, I'm going to try to find a different color to pull from each cover to see the differential volumes plus the ratings. And so, yeah, that's my idea so far. Anything I DNF will be black, and I will do 10 rows. So I can also see that within. So I can't use black, and I don't think I want to use white either in this blanket. And so, yeah, that's the plan right now. And we'll see how this goes. I already know that I won't be able to get this blanket done within the year. It will definitely carry over to 2024, especially with the fact that I am still planning to do my manga advent calendar project in December. And if it goes anything like it went last year, there'll be 30 things to put in December alone. So this probably won't get done until February or March, and then I will assess whether or not I want to do another one for 2024. But yeah, I'm just taking it as it goes, and this again is just knit, and I'm enjoying it so far. So when this little strip gets long enough, I'll then start to attach the second strip. And this one is attached as you knit it. So it's not like I'm going to just be doing strips like this and then have to sew them together, because that would be a deal breaker for me. I hate sewing things together. But so far, so good. And yeah, we'll just see how that goes throughout my year, and hopefully I will have a really nice, colorful blanket with all of the reads that I put in for 2023. I am a little bit apprehensive, if I'm to be honest about this, because I read almost 200 things last year. So I think this is going to be one of those projects that is just going to take a long time, but I think in the end, I'm really going to enjoy having it and being able to look back on it and see all of my reads and how, my ratings and things. I think it'll be really interesting. So let's hope I can keep steam with this project. But with the amount of manga that I have been interested in and wanting to read lately, I have a feeling that this may be a bigger project than I'm anticipating. But we'll see. Again, it'll take me as long as it takes me, and I'm just going to enjoy the process. So that's all of the knitting talk. And I guess we'll finish it out here with some wax haul. So I didn't want to do a separate video for this. I normally don't do my wax chat in this video, but since this has a tie to something bookish, I thought I'd throw it in here. There's not very many. I've talked about this vendor before. This is Otaku Scents. So Otaku Scents does their fragrances inspired by manga, anime, and other types of fandoms like video games and things like that. And she creates her fragrances based on inspiration from that. And this one is actually my favorite so far. This is Grell from the Black Butler series. And so, yeah, I decided to pick up some from her last update because she has brought out some new One Piece fragrances. And so I decided to stock up a little bit on Grell. I picked up 2 of these wax melts containers. Grell is a red hot cinnamon and pomegranate fragrance. I love this one. Definitely a fave. So like I said, I did get 2. So anytime I have an order from Otaku Scents, I try to throw in a little bit of Grell because I do enjoy it. We won't get to the One Piece just yet, but there were a couple others that I picked up. So there were a couple of Chainsaw Man fragrances that she released. Now I am not reading Chainsaw Man, so I'm not familiar with these characters, but I never shop based on characters. I always shop based on scent notes. So these 2 sounded like they'd be interesting for me, so I don't know who this is, but I believe she's from Chainsaw Man. This one kind of smells like a floral, like laundry type fragrance. It is quite nice, so I think that'll be nice. Kind of similar to the Ganyu fragrance I picked up from the Genshin Impact series that she had. So I think that will be nice. And then this is the other one from Chainsaw Man that I picked up. And this Definitely smells red hot cinnamon. But there are other things in there. I think there might be a fruity background. But yeah, different from Grow. But I think that'll be quite enjoyable. So I picked that one up. I picked up this one from Spirited Away. So this is Yubaba's Bathhouse. Now I don't know why this one has the name of the fragrance on here, but the other ones don't. But yeah, Yubaba's Bathhouse. And this one smells like toiletries. Like shampoo and like conditioner body wash that you get at like a hotel while you're staying there. Kind of smells like that. Nice and clean. Definitely kind of like a upgraded like bathhouse type toiletries fragrance. It's quite nice. I think that would be enjoyable. And the artwork on that one is extra nice as well, because you don't have only the picture over here in the middle, but you also have picture around the edges. One Piece fragrances. I only picked up 3 this time around. I have picked up 1 or 2 of her One Piece fragrances before. I'm not yet reading One Piece, but it is on the radar to get to eventually. And so I picked up 3. This one is Robin. I have played the One Piece video games, or most of them anyway, and so I am familiar with a few of the characters. This one is a gorgeous blue color wax, and this one is like a powdery floral. It is quite nice. I think that'll be enjoyable. Then I picked up Jinbei, and Jinbei is a fresh, aquatic, almost cologne-y type fragrance. It is quite nice. So I'm going to enjoy that one. So that's Jinbei. And then I picked up 2 of these. So I couldn't resist because it's Frankie. Frankie is a gorgeous turquoisey color wax. And Frankie's fragrance is cola. Now, to me, this kind of smells like a gummy cola. Or like the Japanese cola hard candies. It is really good. So, I picked up 2 of these. And I think I'm really going to enjoy that. I may go in and purchase some more of this fragrance. That's how much I think I'm going to enjoy that one. So, yeah. That was my very small Otaku Scents haul. 9 clamshells all together. And so, yeah, I'm really, really excited to have these fragrances. And like I said, I think I'm going to go in and get a couple more Frankies. Maybe even a little bit more Grell, because I have used a bit of my stash. And so, yeah, that's pretty much everything I have to talk about today. We've just been watching our normal TV shows and not really doing much. This next week, I have a business luncheon, so that's not going to be fun. But, you know, it's got to do what I got to do. I think we're going to have to change out our computers over the next coming week. We got them a couple weeks ago, and we've just been waiting on IT. But they haven't given us the green light yet, and I don't know why this is so difficult for them to just give us the password and let us go, but they won't even give us that. They had told me that a certain password had worked, but the password doesn't work. So, yeah, a bit frustrating. But hopefully everything will get taken care of. Like I said, I've got that business lunch on Tuesday, and so that's going to cut into my work day. But yeah, just taking one thing at a time, and I think that's just the best that I can do right now. So I have found things that have brought me joy this week. I think that's just a positive thing to leave off on for this week. So I think that's all I've got to say right now. Let me know down in the comments below how your week has been. Have you read anything interesting this week, or have you read something that you really didn't enjoy, or did you DNF something? We're almost at the end of the month, so let me know if you have a favorite book of the month already, or if you think that what you're reading right now is going to be your favorite. I'd love to know that as well. And if nothing else, and you'd just like to let me know that you were here, if you could leave me a pirate ship emoji, I think there's a pirate ship, right? Or something nautical, that would be greatly appreciated and would really help me out. And that will do it for me today. So I hope you're all doing great. I hope you're all safe and healthy. And until next time, take care and smile always. Bye.